Hey, what is up, guys? I am here to talk to you guys about the new Pokemon Unite game. It looks fantastic, looks really cool. A lot of unique things about this game, very different. Excited to get a new MOBA game from a big brand name developer in 2020. If you're new here, my name is Chirag. I've been playing MOBA games for over 15 years now. Lately, the game I mentioned the most is Heroes of the Storm. I'm a Masters player there. Played a lot of League of Legends, played some Dota, played some Smite, played some of the original Dota back in Warcraft 3, back in 2004. I'm excited to jump into here and break down for you guys what this game's all about, how it's different from regular MOBAs, some of the intricate details we can get from the reveal trailer. There's actually a lot of information in there, so we can jump in there, we can kind of show you guys what it's all about. I'm excited to get in there. Let's hop in there right now and do it. Okay, so we're in here. Let's talk about what exactly is going on in Pokemon Unite. We're going to talk about 5 different items for this new game. We're going to talk about 1, the map mechanics. How does the map work? What are the map mechanics like? 2, how to win. How do you win this game? What's the objective in a lot of MOBA games? You kill the enemy core. How do you win in Pokemon Unite? 3, the champions, or in this case, the Pokemon, the heroes you're playing in-game, the characters. 4, the draft. There's a draft in a lot of MOBAs. There's a draft in this game too. How does the draft work? What do we know about the draft? And 5, we'll wrap it up. We'll do a review of everything. I'll give you some of my thoughts on this game in particular. Section 1, map mechanics. So here we have the map right in front of us here. You can see immediately the first thing that pops out to you, and by the way, there's just one map in this game. Some MOBAs, there's multiple maps. This is the only map we know about so far, the only map they've introduced. Immediately what pops out to you about this map is, this is a 2-lane map. You have 1 top lane, you have 1 bot lane. This is very, very rare for a MOBA. This is very unique. League of Legends has 1 single map, 3-lane map. Dota, 3-lane map. Smite, 3-lane map. Heroes of the Storm, it's mostly 3-lane maps. They introduce some 2-lane maps, but the 2-lane map, they get mixed feedback on. Some of them they don't like. It's a bit of an experiment. It leans heavier on 3-lane maps. This game, Pokemon Unite, has opted to go only with 2-lane map and no 3-lane maps whatsoever. This is totally unique. Another insanely unique thing, even more insanely unique, there are no structures in this map. Not a single building. No forts, no keeps, no core, no towers. There's nothing. There's no structures whatsoever. That is crazy. Not that we know of yet. They might introduce them later, but from everything we've seen, this is a totally structureless game. That's wild for a MOBA. It's totally unique. It's another thing, there's no minions. There's no minions at all. Usually in MOBA games, you'll have waves of minions coming down, and that'll be key to getting experience. It'll be an integral part of the game. One of the most important features of MOBA is soaking minion experience properly. CS, creep score. That's not here. So what do we have? Instead of structures, we have capture points. It's a little bit different here. So you can see each team has 5 capture points. This is how the map is divided. You can see in the left half, you have 1 team. We'll call them the blue team for now. In the right half, we have the red team, the opponents. Your team will have 5 capture points on your side of the map. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The enemies will have 5 on their side of the map. The map is totally symmetrical. Now, what do these capture points do? If you go to a friendly capture point on your side of the map, it will give you a heal. This is like the Moonwell on Heroes of the Storm. Heroes of the Storm Moonwell, you can go back towards it, get some health back. The same with a friendly capture point. The enemy capture point, that's how you score points. We'll talk about that in a little bit in the how to win section. Now, what else do we have in this map? So in the lanes, we have the capture points. We have a massive jungle in the middle here, a really big jungle occupying most of the map is the jungle. The jungle is really where all the action happens in this MOBA. Some of the other MOBAs, like League, Heroes of the Storm, a lot of them, there's much more emphasis on the lanes. Pokemon Unite, it's more about the jungle. So what's happens in the jungle? In the jungle for now, what we know is there are neutral wild Pokemon. And picture these wild Pokemon in the jungle, they're scattered throughout. Picture these like the League of Legends neutral camps that you get for CS. You'll go around and defeat these neutral Pokemon for experience. You'll be able to capture them as well. We'll talk about that later in how to win section. Last but not the least, there are 2 respawn points. This is kind of standard. This is like pretty much every MOBA. The left side you see here, this little circle. On the right side, you'll see in the red respawn area, you respawn. If you die, you come back here, and when you first start the game, you start here when you run out. This is speculation, but probably you're invulnerable in here. Probably like most MOBAs, you can't die in here, or you take massive damage if your enemy goes in there. Something like that. Okay, so we covered the map basics. Let's jump into section 2, how to win. Here's the short story. You go into the neutral jungle, you defeat wild Pokemon. When you defeat them, you capture them, you get experience, and then you bring them to an enemy's capture point, and you stand on the capture point. When you stand on it, you channel for a certain number of seconds. If the channel is successful, you get points. Now, the channel can be interrupted, so if an enemy hits you while you're channeling on their capture point with your wild Pokemon, your channel will be interrupted and you won't get it off. You have to stand there the whole time, get the channel off successfully without being damaged. So you might have to do damage to the enemies, you have to kill the enemies to get them away from you, and then you'll channel it and capture it. Then you get points. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. Another insanely unique part about Pokemon Unite. When does the game end? The game actually ends when the timer ends. So there's going to be a timer. We don't know for how long the duration is yet, but I would guess 15 or 20 minutes. That's a guess. I'm not entirely sure. And it's going to be ticking down constantly. And when the timer reaches 0, whoever has the most points wins. So every game should be the same game length. Games won't have these weird League of Legends games that go on for like an hour and 45 minutes or something sometimes. You know, other games where it just goes on unexpectedly long. Each game should be the same amount of time, and each game can be fairly short, which is nice. So now we know how to win the game. Let's talk about the champions. Let's talk about, or the Pokemon in this game. The characters are going to be playing. Right now, it seems like we have 10 different champions or Pokemon in this game that you can play that we've seen in the gameplay footage. I'm assuming it's going to be more on release. Each Pokemon, they have both abilities and they have traits. We haven't really seen any traits yet. We don't know what they're going to be. We can assume there'll be something like League, something like Heroes of the Storm. You have a passive ability that's just kind of comes with each different hero or each different champion, or in this case, each Pokemon. So we haven't seen the traits. We know they're going to be there. We don't know what they are. The abilities, we've seen some of the abilities just kind of in action. Kind of like this. Here's some footage. They look very much like the abilities you've seen in other MOBAs. Now, how the abilities are going to work, you don't get every ability from level 1. In some MOBAs, you start out the game and you have all your abilities. In this MOBA, you don't. You're going to have one ability and you get to pick them, like League of Legends. You'll pick which to acquire at which time. It's not entirely clear once you have them all if you continue to upgrade like League of Legends does, but we know you pick them. You don't start with them. We also know kind of how most MOBAs work. Your ultimate in Pokemon Unite, it's called your Unite move. Your kind of big playmaker ability that's on a long cooldown, the same in every MOBA. We have that here as well. Another thing about the champions, there are no items in this game. You don't have a store. You're not going back to get items. You're not doing different, item builds, or there's not things you have to learn about. I've also seen nothing about a rune system like League of Legends has. It seems like it's a little bit simpler. You have your abilities, you have your trait, and that seems like all we have so far. They might expand on that later, but for now it seems like that's all we've got. Abilities and traits for each Pokemon. Kind of a little fun part. For the moment we've seen Charmander, Machop, Squirtle, kind of your classics. They do evolve as they go. If it's an evolvable, like Snorlax isn't going to evolve, but that's a pretty cool feature. So as you level up, your Charmander will become Charmeleon, your Charmeleon will become Charizard as you go through the game. Now, we have 10 confirmed Pokemon. There's going to be more. I'm going to keep a list of updated, confirmed champions or Pokemon that are going to be playable in the pinned comment below. Check it out. So far we have 10. As that gets updated, I'll update the list and I'll try and keep it pretty up to date so you can see the full range of who are going to be able to play. Hey, if you guys are getting value out of this video, can you go ahead and smash that like button? Thanks. So part 4, the draft. So you can see in the draft on your left, you're going to have your Pokemon you can select from, your Pokemon you can choose to play, and they show the final form. It looks like Charizard, Venusaur, Blast, Lefable, whatever. But when you start out at level 1, you're the level 1 form. I haven't seen Raichu. I don't know if Pikachu becomes Raichu, but all of these other Pokemon are showing the final form. So to me, it indicates that Pikachu doesn't evolve, which would make some sense because Pikachu's so iconic. Maybe they want to leave it as Pikachu. Like your MOBAs, it's 5v5. It's standard. They're not deviating, they're not going 4 or 6. It's 5v5. You choose your champion from the left. I also haven't seen any indication whatsoever about roles. Do we have tanks, healers, assassins, bruisers, mages? There's no role indication that I can find. It might be that this game just doesn't have any roles. I can kind of see it if they don't, because Blastoise's role might be a little different than Squirtle. In your mind, you can see Blastoise kind of seems like a tank. Squirtle kind of seems like a ranged assassin, like a squishy mage or something. It also appears in the game they play, there are no duplicates. Very much like most MOBAs, you're not going to have a mirror matchup. You're going to have Gengar versus Gengar, or 2 Gengars in the same team. Everyone has to play a unique Pokemon. So far, we've only seen 10 Pokemon showcased. I'll have a link to that below. Check it out if you're interested. But with that, let's jump into part 5. I have some thoughts about this. This is very, very cool stuff. It's cool to be getting a MOBA in 2020. I love the simplicity. And a lot of people don't like simplicity in their MOBAs, but I'm almost hesitant to call it simplicity. What they're doing here is they're not convoluting their game with a bunch of research kind of things that need to be done. Picture a new player coming to League of Legends in 2020 or coming to Dota in 2020. They would have to sit down with a textbook for weeks, if not months, to learn everything you need to know to excel in that game. If you are a top tier League of Legends player and you want to become a top tier Dota player, it's going to take you like a year of grinding and playing, because you're going to learn 150 champions, 600 ability, all the different builds for each champion before you can become competitive. That's a ton of information to digest. And the MOBA scene is limiting their player base by putting this massive barrier to entry. The FPS scene and the Battle Royale scene, they're very smart, those companies, when they make a new game, they'll say, I'm Riot, this is Valorant. You don't have to do that much work to come here. If you're a CSGO player, if you're a Call of Duty player, you have to learn 8 champions or whatever they have, 10 champions, a few abilities on each, 2 weeks, and you'll be up to snuff. You'll be ready to go. If you're familiar with COD or CSGO, come over here. Come play on Riot's game instead. They're very smart. They're doing the right thing. They're a very approachable game in that way, and they're going to attract a larger audience by doing that. Dota and League of Legends and a lot of these MOBAs, Here's the Storm, it's too much. It's too much research that you have to do to get into these games. If you're a veteran League player, why would you ever try Dota? If you want to do that much research, get a PhD or go get a degree and get paid for it. More players will join if you can just jump in with your skills you've already built from other games and compete with everybody else and not have to do all this legwork to get on the same playing field as everybody else. I think it's very smart to keep this game clean and to keep all this extra research that needs to be out of it. You'll get people from League, you'll get people from Dota, you'll get people from Smite. Everyone will come in, everyone will compete. We have all the skills to compete already. If we don't have to learn a million champions and a million builds and all that, we can just jump in. I also love how unique this is. They took a totally different spin on this game. No structures, no minions, 2-lane map. Jungle takes up 80% of the map or something. This is wild. This is super different, so I'm very excited to try this game. I think Nintendo is making a very smart move. I know they got a lot of hate on their YouTube channel and on their social medias, but frankly, there's people who are hating. They're not MOBA players. Nintendo's very smart. It's not for the existing Pokemon fans. It's for us. It's for the existing MOBA community. It's a bunch of different MOBA communities. It's all these different MOBAs. People are all going to come from all these other gaming companies who we were previously, just playing one game. We were playing that MOBA. And now we're all going to merge and come to Nintendo. It's very smart by Nintendo. We're probably going to buy a lot of Nintendo Switches. And while we get a Nintendo Switch, I've been meaning to play Zelda, but I didn't have a Switch. I didn't have a good reason to buy a Switch. So I said, I have other things to play. I won't play Zelda. Now I'll probably buy Zelda. Now I'm probably going to buy Animal Crossing. Now I'm probably going to check out what other Nintendo games there are. It's a very nice move by Nintendo. I think they're very smart despite all the hate they got from their existing Pokemon fan base who, I get it. If you're playing existing Pokemon games in 2020, why would you want to start playing a MOBA? It's totally different for you. It's not really what you're interested in. But I don't think it was for the existing fan base. I think it was to attract new fans. So a lot of really cool stuff. I'm going to keep that list below, like I mentioned. I'm going to keep that list of announced playable Pokemon characters in the new Pokemon Unite MOBA game up to date. That'll be the pinned comment below. Check it out. If you have any questions, if you want to talk to me about this, if you have any ideas of your own, definitely post them in the comment section below. You can also let me know about them while I stream. I usually stream Wednesday and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern or Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. I stream at twitch.tv/chillrod. So catch me then. Besides that, as Pokemon Unite announces more and more features of the game, I'm going to be covering them here. I feel like this could be one of the next big things. It's very cool. I'll make some videos about this. If you want to stay up to date about the new Pokemon Unite news, definitely smash that subscribe button below. Besides that, guys, stay tuned. I'm pretty excited about all this stuff. I think it's going to be really cool. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.